First and foremost, I always start saying these videos by saying thank you, God. Thank you, God, that they live life like this perps. The government contract to drive the target individual into insanity. Now things are getting very bad for them because there's a validation of all level that what I've been saying is happening is what they're doing. Listen, this program is clearly a program that's utilizing human beings as test subjects and continuously develop technology that can alter and tweak brains of target individual. It's about control of the mind. They can do so much. Not only is the control of the mind, but also the weaponization of this technology that can control the mind. So for us, what they do is they attack our mind in ways that's degrading, way to break you. And the stupidity that's also included in a way to gaslight you, to go with and internalize the manipulation, is at the highest level. The deceptive tactics of painting themselves in a certain way is so obvious, but so nonsensical. And the perps, who are what we call perps, are this nobodies the government contract, are there to supposed to behave in ways to gaslight you. And it's bad, it's awkward, it's humiliating. I'm somebody who have no problem embarrassing somebody if they act a certain way, especially if they're supposed to be gaslighting. You see, I'm not a bully. I don't like to bully other people. But one thing I hate the most is those who try to deceive you in ways that is based on how they present themselves. In this program, they become clowns. Clowns. It's done by design. They're supposed to create an ecosystem that makes you accept this manipulation as if it's not what they clearly do in this program. And they do these disgusting things to attack your mind. With me, it's been the disgusting manipulation of my mind to force me to get stimulations and arousals and sensations and thought process that they can activate and force me to experience, basically stimulate my brain in this fashion for me to experience these emotions. And it can do that like as if they're pressing a button. And what you're seeing here is a documentary called as I say here, the documentary is called, and I'm taking my time because I'm having Cognitive Liberty Dystopia. It's a documentary that is showing what target individual deal with, which really is attacking people remotely utilizing technology that can do so much to not only your body but your mind, and attacking your mind, forcing you to have thoughts, emotions, memories that are altered in ways that will break you down. They also have, I don't know if they mentioned, but there's this ecosystem of gang stalking. And these clowns, let it be neighbors or whoever else, participate in breaking you down, in destroying, crumble you down, wear you down. These people act in theatrical way. They act in hope that their behavior, their acting, will make you accept this. It's amazing. I have a body cam for a purpose. Because when they behave this way, seeing them in real time, and how do you even find the ability to not feel embarrassed by behaving this way? I don't know how they do it. I'll find it so cringy, I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. It just happened to me not too long ago. And I'm like, oh my God. This guy really thought that he could make me accept the stupidity by looking at me. And he stopped and he looked at me. And I started laughing because I can tell what he was trying to do. He wanted to look at me and try to make sense of the stupidity I'm about to say here. He's looking at me. And I'm looking at him as I'm listening to what you're going to see in the background. And I started laughing because he's really staying in character, hoping that the way he looks at me is going to make me subscribe to that. And then I'm looking at him, are you serious? Are you serious? You don't find yourself feeling like an idiot? And then he walks away, and I let that just like kind of just cook, because in the background I'm blasting this snippet of this cognitive liberty dystopia documentary that is about targeting individual. And in this snippet, weirdly enough, it seems, according to this Epstein files, that Epstein had a fascination for this neurotechnology that's being weaponized. That his fascination on this technology that can not only be able to observe the brain, but alter the brain, tweak the brain, was something that he dedicated a lot of his time, money, resources to continuously be involved in. He seems like he was in the loop of what's happening to us target individual. It seems like he was in that circle of people aware and maybe even participant of what's happening to us. And we all know Epstein disturbing issue. That's, well, the nasty things he was doing to children. And, I know he died, and they were trying to scare me. It's like, it made sense that why a lot of people, important people, wouldn't want him alive, according to this paperwork. Seems like he had connection to people that, let's just say, wouldn't want to be connected to the Epstein. And not surprising that he ended up not living for a long time. Seems like he died with a lot of secrets with him that wanted to be kept secret. Either way, I'm not here to speculate on Epstein, but what there's no speculation about is his interest about this technology that this documentary brings up based on the Epstein file, the emails he was talking to people who was working on this kind of technology. And so this technology of like what Target Visual are bringing up is mentioned a lot in his files, and in this documentary they bring that up. Now, what you're seeing here, you see a weird name called Maha. This is coming from a place where you can look up who was living where in certain apartment and who were the resident of this place. The reason why you're seeing that is, I was supposed to make this video a while ago, but it was just so stupid. In 2000, late to 2019 or so, I signed a lease to live somewhere with two other individuals. It was three of us on the lease. One of them is this person that you're seeing here called Maha. And she said and I was there when we signed the lease. Me and her were together when we signed the lease, and we did that through a third party at the time that's no longer now in business, where they find you roommates, they go through their paperwork, they research everything, and they connect different roommates. So you don't know the roommates, but this third party finds a roommate for you, and all three get together and sign the lease. On the day of the lease signing, I'm there, she's there, they check our ID, they sign, because obviously to sign a lease, especially coming from this third party, you have to be of the age that you can sign a lease. We signed the lease on the same day. They check ID in front of me, and the 24 years old, that's her, I'm older, I'm in my early 30s. And a third person signed who's a bit older than us. All three of us on the list. And now the story comes to they start messing with me. Now all those perps were perps, big time perps. The older individual and this Maha, who's a few years older than me, 7 or so years younger than me, I should say. I was 7 years older than her. Those two were perps. Matter of fact, not only those two, but everybody they brought were participants. Maha had like a boyfriend that was my age, that was involved in it, definitely participant. They were theatrical. I knew something was kind of weird between those two. They love to kiss each other in front of me, kind of show their love, and it was like kind of extra kissing and this and that. They like to do that today too. And when this thing happened to me on August 19, 2019, they clearly were involved in that, but not only Maha, but the other roommates, slamming doors in ways that are just super loud. All kind of things. Clearly perps. Now listen to the story that I'm supposed to accept. It's so stupid. The reason why you're seeing people over there like in their early 20s and mid 20s is because the story that I'm supposed to be subscriptive of is, oh, what was actually happening? Because these clowns want me to think that they're doing this study, testing, evaluation that consists of non-manipulation. And this Maha was being presented as a 24-year-old, but all along she wasn't. They gave her false identification, and she signed the lease, and they got her to sign the lease even though she was not an adult. They made her look like she was an adult by giving her identification that presented her as an adult, signed the lease. Finally, we're able to create some kind of loophole to make her be on the list without being an adult, to study me, so I can think she's an adult. And that's why she had a boyfriend that was a year older than me, so I can be believing that she's an adult, and so they can truly study me. Pure stupidity at the highest level. And they've done this kind of things, that is that level of stupidity. And they really want you to subscribe to it. This guy came and delivered the food, and he was like, that's proof. And what you're seeing here, this is literally paperwork. I even have the email asking the landlord, hey, there's 3 of us, we all signed the lease. 3 of us on the list, can we see the lease? Because it was taking some time to get the list, and they sent it to us. Now I can't find the list anymore, but it was just 3 of us. There's even a ledger that shows the 3 of us and what we paid. The 3 of us who are in this, that's what you're seeing above, and how much we paid. Now these clowns can be this level of retarded and gaslighting. Even with all that, they will still have no shame to try to make you accept stories that they come up with. With all that against them, they are this retarded and have no self-respect and they do that to somebody like me, who's not somebody that you want to do this to, in that sense. Because I'm the kind of person who put that. Listen, I don't care if it provokes them, it makes them more angry. I love when they're willing to dumb themselves to that level. I love that. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at you clowns like you guys are a bunch of retard that will actually work for pedophile when somebody like Epstein was in the mix, in the loop of what you guys are part of. Well, you want me to accept the stupidity that you went so far, that you did all that to make me think that this person was an adult, but she wasn't. She signed the lease as a 24-year-old. She even had a boyfriend a year older than me, for a year lived with me as a roommate, so we can study. And the reason why they do that is because today what's happening as a target individual, what they do first of all is a lot of defamatory things, and and this person was actually part of the defamatory because she was a 23, 24-year-old, and sometimes she will do things to look to be defamatory. And I remember one time we went out, and there were a bunch of perps, and they walk around, look, and shake their head like, oh, and she'll start laughing. And I was like, what's wrong with these people? I was like, oh no, they probably like they look at me, they think that I'm like not an adult, and she like laughing. She's clearly an adult. And it's funny that no, she wasn't. And the stupidity is like, what you're saying is almost even more retarded. If you present somebody, especially put so much effort to that level to make somebody look like the adults, that you will give her false identification, sign a lease as a 24-year-old, put so much effort. By the way, this thing that you're seeing here, where you see the name, is a website where you can look up who lived a certain place, and it can give you the name based on all the records they can get of people that live there. And guess what? Who comes up? Maha. Now, this is last year. So last year she was 31. By 2019, she was 24. It literally adds up exactly. So she has such a false identification that even this website, and by the way, I'm on that website, the age is correct. They have my age, the correct age. So wherever they get the age is accurate based on the information that they're getting from. So this Maha has such good false IDs that it tracked the exact age that was presented in 2019. And so that's what, when you see this in 2025, it says 31 years old. These clowns are retarded and humiliated by this documentary. While it's validated that there's a lot of pedophilia-centricness happening in this circle that they're in this realm, in the loop that they're part of, these clowns want to come up with storylines like we had somebody act like she was, no, present herself as a 24-year-old to the point of signing a lease with an identification of a 24-year-old. To the point that even today, when you track who lived at the address, that her name comes up with a 31-year-old age, or the age that is aligned with the age that was presented in 2019 when she signed the lease. And they will commit to this retardation. This guy came and knocked on the door. I was like, oh my God, you have no shame. So they protect children by doing that. You want me to believe that this study is a study that protects children by having people have false identification, presenting themselves as 24-year-old to sign leases, to live with somebody as a roommate for a year. And this is done as a research to protect children. In a program that happens to torture children, to manipulate the brain in disgusting way, and weirdly enough, this infamous pedophile happens to be in the loop of this whole thing. I love these clowns. They're like, yeah, no, it's not fair. What's happening here is simple. Actually, because today what's happening, they're forcing me to get this sexual stimulation and arousals. And because they want me to think that I'm not being manipulated, it's part of their research. It's like, no, remember when you were living with your roommate who's presented as an adult? We researched you, we studied you. And today what's happening is the result of the study when you were living with a roommate that you thought was 24-year-old because we presented her like that. That we're not manipulating you. We were doing that research and the research was solved. And today what you experience is based on the research of a study. Retardation at the highest level. Because the truth is, even to her, as a 24-year-old, I always found something weird about her. Which they tried to change that. I was like, okay, she's not bad looking, but something is weird about her. She's too petite. I even told her, the best part is how they try to change this thing. I was like, you should gain some weight. You should be like a little bit, because she was like too kind of petite for me. I'm like, something is off. Like, I can't just go there. And listen, I'm not I could have, through a 24-year-old, especially at 31, of course I can look at it to it. But I was like, you're not bad looking at all. But you're like too petite. There's something weird about you. I always wondered that. It's like, something is weird. Like, it's just, it's just too small. It's like too small for me. I didn't like that. It's like, something is off. And she even got mad at me when I asked her, like, you should gain some weight. It's like, I'm okay here. I'm happy like that, okay? So I wasn't even, like, I couldn't even get myself to think of her, like, sexually, even though I'm like, something off about her. Yes, she's an adult. But it's just, like, too petite for me. And it was a little annoying. So even as an adult, it wasn't even working out. Because something was off about her. I was like, she's just too petite. It's like, just kind of, something's off. And that's her, as an adult, me knowing that she's an adult, her presenting herself as an adult, and me, of course, knowing that she's that. So today they even try to change that. I'm like, it's like, no, it's not research. Because today, when I see this little teenage trash, they force me to get the stimulation. And FYI, this is what they do today. Today, even those young adults, like what you're seeing here on the right, they mess with me. Because this Maha was about the same age of these people that you're seeing here. She was 24 years old. So when you see the 24, 23-year-old, imagine being roommate with somebody like that around when you're in your early 30s. And then making these clowns try to deceive you. No, we made them look like they were... We presented them as adults, give fake IDs and made them sign leases as adults to fool you. They even tried to be like, no, somebody co-signed it. Like, no, nobody. I was there when they signed it. And there's only 3 of us on the lease. And we use a third party that is very, they do their background. They couldn't let you like, okay, we're going to have a roommate that's 37 years old with a roommate that's... You know how much of a liability that would be? So they come up with stupid story like that to try to disown me and make me subscribe as today because they forced me to get this nasty manipulation. And want to use this Maha who's in her now early 30s, by the time early mid-20s, to be like, no, the research, you look at this like trash, and then you see this little retarded teen trash wanting to be seen and have no shame to come up with storyline like this. While this gaslighter want me to look at them, it's like, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I wish you could see this guy who just delivered. How he really was confident that him knocking on the door and looking at me. And the way he was looking at me, I'm like, I started laughing. I'm like, you committed like a retardation of a character. While in the background, I'm listening to this. Target individuals stay strong. You could have lived life like this. I'll put that in their faces because these people thought they're going to be. I'm like, what? Do you know who you're dealing with here? You give me these gems and you expect me, oh, I'm going to put that in your face and trash. I will never internalize this nasty manipulation. These professional retards supposed to gaslight me. It's like, no, we're just insane. It's not fair. It's like, no, you're professional retards that work for pedophiles who want me to turn into a mentally retard to that level. Target individuals stay strong.
With neuroscience and microwave networks. In another chain of emails, someone at Bill Gates's Gates Ventures, whose name is redacted, emails Bill Gates about research into weaponized neurotechnology. The email is then forwarded to Epstein. In 2009, disgraced Harvard professor Mark Hauser emailed Epstein about something called TMS, or trans-magnetic stimulation, which was available at Harvard Medical School's Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center. Hauser pitched TMS as something wild and creative that allows for focal suppression of brain function. Fast forward to February 2014, Epstein was asked by Japanese venture capitalist Joi Ito to remind him of the electromagnetic technology capable of erasing short-term memory, to which Epstein replied TMS. Later that year, in June 2014, Epstein asked Harvard professor of mathematics Martin Nowak to have someone contact a researcher at the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center to book an appointment to work on an 11-year-old girl who he wanted to use TMS therapy on.